Ta-da! Hooray! We have some sound. A little bit of a tweak there. There we go. Well, there you are. There's a nice quiet start, but unfortunately we fixed it now, so now you have to listen to me babble.
I missed the dad jokes. I'm actually a little bit upset.
Oh, they missed your terrible dad joke.
Yeah. I have to do more. No, nothing for it. I have to do more.
So as you can see, I have some bananas. I was wondering if anyone had an idea of what could go with bananas as an accompanying object. Very important that everyone knows what a Dire Straits fan you are, isn't it?
Got a link now from your Instagram story onto your YouTube channel. Okay.
Well, that was a fun bit of gibberish.
It was, yeah.
What?
Leave it alone, it's fine.
I wonder if anybody knows what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Thank you, though, I suppose. I mean, I'm guessing it's something to thank you for. I hope it's not a terrible idea that I'm just going along with. Right. So my meditative palette cleaning is nearly at an end. And yeah, helps sort of prime me for what I'm about to do.
Sounds very ominous.
Well, that's it. It is, yeah. I'm about to go into a place, very familiar place, very welcoming place, a challenging place as well. It's a place of picture making. And it definitely needs to be something to go with these bananas. That could be a harmonious yellow thing. Do I have a harmonious yellow thing? I wonder. Oh, this camera's pointing. Let's put that there. Hopefully that's there. People can see me. How's that? A bit closer.
We bet there's a big light in the way there.
There's a bit, isn't there? How's that?
That's better.
You can see me in my little chair. Oh, there's a coffee cup from yesterday.
You went co-high coffee, didn't you?
Actually, it was bought for me. You know how I rarely buy my own coffee. You know that thing.
I never noticed.
You know that. I know what.
It's a yellow day today.
It's a yellow day, and
Maybe your palette paper is nice yellow there.
it is. Although I'm not going to put that in the picture. That is a Lang's rum. Look at this. It's only banana rum, isn't it?
Oh, look at that.
They are. Bit of product placement.
There we go.
I think that whole bunch of bananas is too much. I think I'm going to have to take the label off.
Well, being orange as well, it doesn't fit.
It may shock some of you to know that. Oh, that's great. That Graham has no familiarity whatsoever with the song "Yes, We Have No Bananas." So, anyone else who'd like to express disapproval of his lack of knowledge of classic musical songs, do chime in. Do you know the largest apodister in the world?
The largest.
aspidistra in the world.
No, I don't.
Right, it's like you were born yesterday.
Yeah. Next to you, James, I probably was.
Ooh, low blow. Right. So you know what happens? You join in and it just gets worse.
Yeah, absolutely.
But just ignore me. Right, now I'll try to control myself.
Painting, James. Right, where are we?
Right. So I've got some blue here. Blue is going to be very, very important. Because do you know what the opposite of yellow is?
I'm expecting this to be a dad joke, but it's not
No,
going to be, is it?
no,
This is
no,
actually educational content.
It's purple.
Oh, is it?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, well, I did not know that.
And there is a peculiar thing about purple, is that there is no such colour.
Okay.
I mean, in a sense, all colours are kind of invented. They're perceptual tricks that are based on actual information that's coming into our brains, but there's no difference between the stuff we call colour and, you know, heat or gamma rays or the stuff that your radio picks up and, you know, that for when you want to listen to the Archers or whatever. It's all the same stuff. It's electromagnetic radiation. There's this particular small part of it that our eyes can see, and it separates those into what we call colours. Colours are entirely perceptual and don't really exist. But the really funny thing is that at least red and blue and green are particular sections of the electromagnetic spectrum. Blue being high frequency light, up to about, or down to about 400 nanometers, and red being low frequency light down to about 650 nanometers, and those are the things we call colours. And yellow is actually very bright green. And also, yeah, the colour perceptions cross over a little bit, so there's no way you can see green without seeing a bit of red.
Okay.
Like your red cones in your eye will be stimulated to a certain extent by that middle frequency of colour, because it's got a bit of that in it. So, yeah. Anyway, what was I going to say? Yes. So this is endlessly fascinating. I bet you're glad you asked. Oh, you didn't. Okay, so change my composition a bit now. I'm going to put those there. There's my reflections. Now that will go nicely. Now I've messed up my bananas. What's going on with you? Okay, what was I saying? It probably wasn't important. Yes, so purple isn't a particular position on the electromagnetic spectrum. It's a lack of yellow, or green if you like. So it's a lack of stimulus it's a dip in rather than a peak.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
I think so.
So it's like if you were naming all the peaks of Nepal, and you know, and they're called Everest and whatever else, and then there was a particularly big hole in the middle, and you went, we might as well name that along with them. And you go, that's a different thing. You go, no, it's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yes, so purple is an absence of yellow. It's not actually a particular. Yes. Anyway, so to make yellow look yellower, you need some purple.
What colour did you initially put on your palette there?
What do you mean? Well, this one.
Yep.
That is cadmium yellow. Oh, hang on. Can we see the core colours? Okay. Yeah, we can. So I've got some mixing white, some titanium white, some cadmium yellow. I've got some yellow ochre. I've got two reds, cadmium red and alizarin crimson. I have a singular blue because we're not going to have to go that any particularly strong greens in this, so there will be plenty of green, but it will be in the shadows. And I have a raw umber, and I think I might start with, let's start with a greeny colour. I can make that greeny colour with some ultramarine and a bit of raw umber, and it will go greeny, and then I'll stick a little bit of yellow ochre in it. Cheeky, wouldn't it? Polluting on a yellow ochre. There's a blue side now. I wouldn't normally use something like yellow ochre, an opaque colour at the beginning stage, but I think I can get away with it. Because you end up using more of it, and then it mixes on the surface as it goes along. And I'm going to do some bit of perceptual mixing today as well. Be fun, won't it?
I want to find out what it is.
So when I want to make something less yellow, I can put bits of purple in it.
Okay.
And it will
Well, a colour that's not a colour.
and it will unyellow it.
Right.
I can put in unyellow,
You think unyellow.
and it will make the yellow less.
Brilliant.
This all makes perfect sense. Doesn't it?
Absolutely.
Right. Okay. Some banana.
Finally, the bit that people have tuned in to see.
Okay. Some reflections there. That feels good, and then some green. Yeah. Okay. How's this going to play out? And then some. How's that going to go? Ah, back there's one going all over the place now. That's miles off. That's my shadows. That's a bit more shadow. That's the edge of the bottle over there. And that. Some shadow bits in the bottle. This cup's going to sit off one side, I think. But that's okay. Yeah, actually, it'll be around there somewhere. And the bottom of it around here. So I'll just put a bit of that in. And then that's the other side of that bottle, wherever that's going to go. Okay. A bit of that yellow carried on as green in the reflections. I'll have to move this. Yeah, I'm going to have to move everything over a bit, I think. There we are. Something like that. So I'm going to mix a purpley colour now. And I'm going to use that for my shadows. Bit of alizarin crimson, tiny bit of mixing white. Again, just to give it a bit of opacity. Hard to see where that purpleness is coming through, but it is a bit. Especially when it's thinner. Put a bit more mixing white in it. Can always make way for some darks later on. There you go. Okay, let's have a bit more alizarin.
How are you getting on with your new palette now?
It's lovely actually. Yeah, very pleased with it. So that so it picks all the paints up nice and clean. It's got a good flexibility to it. I'm a fan. I like to endorse the maker, don't I? Yeah, can't read that. Never mind. I think it's RSG or something. Got it from Jackson's. And I had it the wrong way up. RGM. They're an Italian company. And that's pretty much all I know about that. Okay, bit of thinners. Try and get all the thinners off the brush. Okay, let's do a few negative spaces here. Here. It's quite nice, isn't it? Put around here. I had a bit of a face palm moment the other day.
Yeah.
It was all sunny, and there's people sitting outside the pub, and you know the sun comes out, and people want to be social, and they want to be seen, and they want to be noticed. And I realised that instead of trying to develop a personality or any actual skills, what I should have done is taken the muffler off my car. Because you do that, and then everyone cheers, and you go past. But I feel like I was misled. I was sold a lie. Okay, I'm not going to get too caught up in. Oh, there's more banana there. Find out. There's the bottom of my bottle, and it's going to go about here. And there's that space here, and there'll be yellow going across there, and then that's going to be a bit further across there, and that's probably going to have a few verticals or something. And then there, here we go. The other side of the bananas. That's going to be roughly level with the bottom of the cup, which is around here somewhere. Be around here. Okay, seeing it now. So now I've got a bit of this sort of shadow colour. Look, lots of vertical marks here. Especially up at the top. Ah, we're starting to see this yet? It's sort of there, isn't it? Okay, a little bit more thin, tiny bit. Dun, dun, dun. Nice big dark space here. I could move everything up. It's not too late to do that. No, I like it. I like it how it sits there. See, anyone along yet? Is it just us again?
Just a few people.
Oh, that's nice to know. If you're out there, and if you can hear me, do let us know. No. I'm going to have to move it, aren't I? There's no way around it. It's so annoying.
Why are you going to have to move it?
Because the composition's slightly off. I don't want to be the bottle too near the middle, but a little bit more near the middle than that. Actually, before I make a big mess. What a blow on.
Good evening, Josie. Thank you for that comment.
Ah, Josie's in, is she? Good stuff.
You came in for coffee today,
Oh, right.
and was mentioning your last week's.
Right. I was actually quite pleased with last week's, in a weird way.
Well, there's nothing weird about it. It was a good painting.
Oh no, but it's weird when I like something. My point. They are in the same place. All this can come over a bit. Yeah. Something going on. Oh, I'm coming out the speakers, that's why. Graham?
Hello.
On the front of the silver, there's two levers on the left.
Yeah.
Second lever, push it down. Thank you.
Cool.
So these bananas are going to emerge out of the darkness in some fashion. The bottle's quite central, but actually it gives it a bit more weight. I quite like. Okay. Just get rid of that. It's this. So are you a fan of rum, Graham?
I've never really got into rum myself. I know for some people it was like a big thing, isn't it?
Pirates.
Wow, yeah.
Pirates are well into it. Yeah, it's quite sweet. That's the thing. I think that makes it popular with some people. Well, certainly with me. I like sweet things. Bit of a child like that. Okay. Is that working?
Why is it that sweet stuff is associated with like childish?
I think maybe that, you know, maybe we're meant to grow out of it a bit. I don't know. Oh, that's a good question. But yeah, well, you know, you give kids sweets, don't you? Well, I mean, you don't, obviously. That's not suggesting you go around a van or anything. But you know, it's a treat for the children, isn't it? Some sweet things. Whereas chocolate is still, you know, for some reason that doesn't count. Yeah, quality Belgian chocolates. You can give them to children.
Yeah, because I mean, can you have like high-end sweets?
Absolutely. Well, yeah, Belgian chocolates are a good
But no,
example.
yeah, but you're then saying that's chocolate. But can you have, say, you know, is there a high-end version?
But it's the same thing,
Like
isn't it?
but is there a high-end version of a Skittle? or a, you know, an opal, or
like a Michelin star, like.
well, yeah, you know, but because you can have the Belgian chocolates and truffles and you know lovely stuff like that, but sweets, they're just sort of, I guess they are that childish memories, aren't they?
Yeah, that's a very good question.
All of life's deepest ones here this evening.
Yeah, it's a fun thought, isn't it? It's a fancy restaurant. Waited for something for dessert. Angel Delight. Covered in delicious Skittles. Which the chef buys from his own newsagent. Okay, have I got somewhere for bananas to go now? I believe I have. Also got a few of these cool sort of dull colours. Now I'm wondering. Oh, let's just see if I'm in focus. Look a bit blurry to you.
This side is, but not.
Oh, right, okay.
Side.
Yeah. Right then. I'm going to soften some of those edges because they're distracting me and I don't know where they go yet. Let's pick up a few of those darks and sort of break them in a little bit and dot that around. Let's play their little game. Okay, I guess I ought to go in with some of this yellow then. This is going to be interesting. I've got to keep it simple, so I'm going to prepare some colours for some perceptual mixing. You were wondering what that was, weren't you, Graham?
Perceptual mixing.
Hmm.
Do I need? I'll need to head over to the palette for that one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Extremely deep and detailed explanation of what this is.
Yeah, so you can go back on your phone now if you want. That's fine. all perceptual mixing is I can take the individual components of the colour and have them mix in your eye, inside your eye, by putting them next to each other.
Okay.
So if you've got a load of blue dots and a load of yellow dots, if you've got all the blue Skittles and yellow Skittles, and you mixed them up together and took them far away, they'd look green. Look like you had a bucket of green stuff, and then you bring it closer and you go, oh no, it's blue and yellow Skittles.
So that's perceptual mixing.
Yeah.
And you could do that in a painting.
Yeah, because there's no green Skittles. No. Yeah. But you would see green at a
You'd
distance.
see a sea of green.
Yes. So I'm going to have to start by mixing yellow. So I don't know if I'm going to need much of that cadmium yellow. That is a pure primary. But the shadow colours, which are kind of a green colour, I can do a few things. I can get see, what can I get? Yes, I'm going to mix a bit of purple as well. Let's put that here. Two transparent colours, so it looks very, very dark there, but if I add a bit of white to it, we'll bring it back. It's on the blue side there. Maybe that's a bit too much. Yeah, it's a bit on the blue side. Let's see that. And put it on the red side of things. There we go. So I can go for a reddy purple and a blue. And when I add them to yellow, well, blue purple especially, will make a dull green, because it's just like you're making it green and you're putting a bit of red in it. And it'd help if I made it the same kind of tone. So if I mix up some of that green shadow, so I've got my black there, so let's put it here. Put some of that yellow in it. It's a long way off. Yeah. So it's like a kind of a dull green that goes in that shadow there. So orange and purple can weirdly make that green. So I'm going to want a bit of orange as well. Let's make the brightest orange I can to begin with. With a camp red. It's pretty intense. A bit of mixing white in that. If I get a bit of raw umber, let's put some cad red in it. That'll make it kind of a dark orange, almost like a burnt umber. I can make that tonally similar to this green. Yeah, that's better. There's a shadow colour. Right, dark red. You've got a dark orange. I guess that's this again, isn't it? Move this green, don't need that anymore. Let's put it over here somewhere. Take a chunky yellow.
Anne from Amsterdam saying hello.
Oh, hello, Anne from Amsterdam. Thanks for popping in. That's just mixing a dark orange. Using the power of raw umber as a dark yellow. So I could put that in along with the cadmium yellow. Yeah, it's going greeny again now. So I can get a bit more red in it. That should be good. Yeah, that's my dark orange. Tonally darker than that that green. So again, lighten that a little bit. It's a slightly dull browny colour. Okay, and what else?
Quite an array of colours as opposed to last week's.
Yeah. Was it pretty simple last week? Probably was. Okay, so I can neutralise the green with the red. And both of those will neutralise the yellow to some degree. And if you mix green and red together, you will get kind of a purpley colour. So without making any of the colours too weak, yeah, let's put that here. Let's put a bit more of that mixing white in it. Not enough. Put a bit of titanium white in it. Bleached out a bit. There we go. So because it's cooler, you can also get away with it being a bit paler. Right, so that's my dark colours for perceptual mixing. And over the other side, I'm going to want, what am I going to want? I'm going to want a light orangey yellow. So I'll put here. I'm also going to want a greeny yellow, which, hang on, I won't make that too strong. But the only blue I've got is ultramarine, so it is going to dull it slightly. So let's put that there. Let's use the last of the mixing white. Let's put a little bit of blue in it. A little bit. That's probably way too much. To one side. Yeah, it's got really green. It's a good green though. That green. Yeah, I may as well go with a stronger colour rather than anything else. Let's have a ton of that. There you go, same recipe, makes them all the same. Okay, and if I just leave what's on the knife, put some of that on the yellow here with a little bit of light in it, you can effectively make a kind of lemon yellow. Which is rather fun, isn't it? Apologies if it's a bit bright at the moment, but it's still light outside, which I didn't order. It's decided to do that all by itself. Okay. I've still got my dark here. Do I need another one? I don't think I do yet. I've got my dark blue here. I've got some raw umber. I think I still need to mix that with something else. So I have this dark purple colour here, dark blue. I'll put a bit of red in this, just to make it kind of a burnt umber. Tiny bit of blue just to darken it. Get a little bit more purpley. And that should be enough for me to dot some colours in. And let's see how much I can do with this perceptual mixing. I think I'll start with the lights. I'm just realising I haven't got anything that fits the bill. For the light tops of the bananas. Let's warm it up, soften it down a bit. A little bit of the orange. Put that in there. A little bit more. Yeah, that's pretty good. I'll make a slightly paler one just next to it. There you go. I think that's enough. I think that's enough colours now. Ah, no, something else got in it. That's ruined. It's not necessarily the end of the world, though. I'll put it down here. Don't even know what colour that is. I'll call it creme brulee.
Favourite of yours?
No. I mean, I've often wondered with creme brulee, it's like, well, did it used to be nice and they put the aftertaste in later? Like, just to, you know, like when they make cheese mouldy, even though it would have been fine if they hadn't, like, injected it with mould. I wonder if it's just like a posh thing. I don't know, it's got a weird sort of aftertaste, isn't it? That one. Is it butterscotch or? I don't know. I don't know anything about food. I'm like you, Graham. I'm just blagging it most of the time with this stuff. Pretending I know what I'm talking about. Can you taste the difference? Sorry, that's another joke living in my head. A conversation I've been having with my friend Steve, who may be lurking somewhere. We noticed a few things. We were in Sainsbury's, and there was this moment of realization where I think I was suggesting like buying the nice microwave lasagna, and he pointed out that it doesn't say it's better. It tastes the difference, just says it's different. Yes, it's in a nicer packaging. Yes, there's this assumption that, well, you'd expect that to be better, but they actually haven't promised that at any point. They've only said it's different, and that's all you can expect. This wasn't as nice as the other one, but was it different? Yeah. And yeah, get out of that. It got you over a barrel. You haven't got a chance. And then once I've been primed for that sort of outlook, I was in the cat food aisle where I go when I'm trying to save money, and Felix cat food has I don't know if it's all their cat food or if it's a particular brand, and it's called As Good As It Looks. And then on the package there's a picture of some cat food, which is probably visually the least appetizing thing in the entire world. I mean, it was just absurd. But I mean, maybe they went, this is revolting, but we still need a way to sell it. And they managed to get the word good in there without lying to him. So, yeah, cat won't touch that stuff. He's very fastidious. So. Okay.
Can we go back to painting then?
Yeah, that's a good idea.
To the canvas.
Okay. Yeah, thank you. Right. So I'm going to go with some of these shadows, and I'm going to start off with. So you do all this, and then you can't find the colour you want anyway.
Really hate yellow.
I'm going to go with this warm colour with the shadow, which it's probably the wrong colour, but I'll get some of it in just as almost as a sort of a backing, and it would be fairly loose, and then it will also go in here. And in here, in all of this, and all of it looks quite cool. So it looks like I'm sort of putting the wrong colour in the shadow, and effectively I am. But there's a reason to it. There's method in my madness, as well as actual madness. I'm going to put a bit of it in there as well. I don't know if I'm going to put it in the rum yet, because it sort of belongs in the rum. That would be where the highlights go. I guess we could put a bit in there. I think it'd be one of those things that would be quite easy to paint it in a conventional way. But where's the fun in that? Why not make everything difficult and awkward for yourself? Great idea. Okay, I'll put a bit of that in and leave it there. Anything in the shadows, similar kind of thing in the shadow. Let's just bung some of that in, see what it does. Not even entirely sure yet. Okay. Now that's there, I can go in with some other colours. So I've got that there, and I can put in some of these sort of bits of violet for the light. Well, that seems so wrong, doesn't it? But it will do a job. Where else is that going to go? Pop a bit in there. Hang on, no, a bit in there. And I'm not doing it like pointillism, where you just sort of dash it all in. I'm just sort of wandering around looking for everywhere it could possibly go. There's some there. A bit on the top. Not sure about that, so I'll break that up a bit. Get some in here. Oh, it's going to be yellow. There, something like that. Let's put a bit in the shadow there. A bit here. Does that go there? I'm not entirely sure. A bit here. Okay, so that's a bit odd having blue in it. If I go ahead with some of this yellow, so when it goes in, with some yellow here, that's going to have to lighten up. This is all too yellow, but I'll put the yellow on first. Yeah, I can put some of that curve in. A bit in here. I'm not using very thick paint yet, but it will thicken up as it goes. At the moment it sort of needs to mix on the surface. Where else does this go? A little dash of it in there. Chunk of it on there. And that. Okay, you know what? I can put some in here as well. It's too light, but that's not the problem at the moment.
What is the problem at the moment?
Well, it's not a problem at the moment, I suppose I should have said. It's mixing in on the surface a little bit. I'm going to pop a bit in there, a bit in here. Right, and then that. What's this doing? Doesn't know. That's not happening yet. Okay, so I've got this other colour here, so I can dab some greens in just where I think I need them, especially in here. In there. There's still going to be bits of these pinks and things coming through. A bit of that there. Yeah. So if I put these greens in, when the reds go in, they'll make excellent sort of darks. There'll be a replacement for the black. Still kind of playing around, finding my way here.
So Josie's asked, is it the same principle as pointillism?
It is the same principle, but I'm doing it in a different way. So I'm not doing little dots and really letting them all mix. I'm introducing other colours that don't quite belong, but letting them perform different tasks. So, but we'll see it now. So I'm going to do some of these shadow areas, and I'm going to use a red. I'm going to use a strong red here, and I'm going to put in the edge of that banana there. Now that isn't actually red. But it operates as a dark, as a shadow colour. Same thing here. So it's not actually getting that dark or that close to a black or anything.
Well, the layman over here is going to ask, what's pointillism?
Oh, well, it's originally called pointillism. Was a art movement that was a sort of parallel to Impressionism, promoted mostly by George Seurat, but he was quite in his painting he was quite single-minded and isolated. He wasn't like a part of a group that were all comparing each other. He was very scientific about it. He had these very sort of fastidious, long drawn-out processes he employed, and but there was also a lot of idea about colour theory that was popping up, about how we see colours, about how colour works, some of which I was talking about earlier, some of which is they're ahead of their time in some ways. But there's also a stylistic nature to it. So George Seurat painted La Grande Jatte.
Mm-hmm.
You familiar with that one? Or Bathers in the Seine?
Yes, yeah.
You know, the kid with the red hat on, hunched on the, yeah. And up close, it's all little dots. But also Sisley and Pissarro were sort of bundled in because they were playing with some of the same colour experiments. And Pissarro especially, I think, was a really interesting painter because he had this conventional picture-making sort of discipline, if you like. That's the word. But he really did push the boat out when it came to using other colours. So another thing I can do, I'm going to go into this purple a little bit. If I want to darken some of this, I can put purple on there in the gaps. And again, this is unyellow. And I don't want it everywhere because it would kind of take over. But if I use it to break some light out of that red, like that, I can use it in here instead of a green. and its blue character will hint at a green, if you like. Extra shadow under there, it gets a bit darker. Here, less so. Yeah, so there's, oh, and on the side here. Now, I can put some of this red in it to hint at the sort of that shadow quality. But yeah, it's a pretty simple little trick, but it is interesting to sort of figure out how you think about color, about how you would, yeah, it used to be back to the purple again, how you would take a color apart, dismantle it in your mind. And I think once you okay, here, be useful. And once you start doing that, it's rather fascinating how this, this stuff works. It is an invention of your own mind, color, and so it can be dismantled to a certain degree. It's not entirely in your control, because anything to do with your visual cortex is, on autopilot to a certain extent. But you can play around with it. So let's go back to my, that was my green. That's my green brush. I'm going to go back to the green here. I'm going to put some green in for the shadow of this cup. That's the word. It was in there somewhere. So just like I was putting yellow in, this is a kind of a local colour. But within that, I can start looking for others, and then I'm seeing this purple again. So where it gets a bit darker, I'll put a bit of that in there. And even with some of these streaks and things. Don't know if there's a way I can do that. Oh, yeah, there's a sort of a weird orange over here. Let's pop that in. Sort of seems to turn up here. Yeah, just on one side. And you can see the reflection as well. What's that doing? Doesn't know. What else? What else? Oh yeah, okay. So this pink colour, where can that go? It can go in here. I like it in there. Can it go there? No, don't think it can. I think it can go here. And I'm looking for sort of evidence of some of these colours. Now this is a lighter colour. Similarly, I can start putting in, but I'm still doing shapes which are descriptive. It's still the marks I'm making is still the marks I'd normally make. I'm just expanding the colour out a bit. But if you do it right, it will play the game, and you won't even notice anything weird about it. You just go, oh look, bananas, yeah, they're yellow, and you look closer and you go, oh no, they're mostly purple. Okay. it's quite fun. So I'll put a bit of pink under that. These sort of hoops are going to wind me up, but if I can sort of get to that. Okay, let's bring that around. What else can I do? Yeah, so I'm seeing some pinks.
Just so that we have gone past the kind of 8 o'clock mark, so you can find a particular point where you can.
Oh yeah, I was so excited to use my colours that.
leave it to you to say. Call it.
Yeah, it's been quite. Trying to be careful with my lips here. Okay, let's put a bit of pink in there. Get some in the bottle cap in some way or another. What's that doing? Doesn't know. It's not sure. Okay, there's the beginnings of something there. It's still very light outside, isn't it? What else does this do? I'll tell you what we'll do. So just go back to. Crikey, I did get into it there. Gone past the 8 o'clock bit. What else? That brush is still too wet. This one will do it. I'm going to go back into that green. I'm going to put that same green in here. This time, that needs to get a lot darker, so it needs some of the opposite on it. So I'm going to put some red in there. And it just needs the edge taken off that red, so I'll put some of this bluey purple in there. Oh, there's a bit of that in here as well. I think I'm getting too far ahead of myself. Yeah, what's this? Right, here we are. Let's put some of this deeper blue in here and see what it does. So I was saying about the marks being the same. Okay, where else can I put that deeper blue? It'll look round all over the place. It can be a bit in here. Be a bit on there. And there. What else? There we are. There's some colours turning up here. I know it's a bit shiny. There's not much I can do about that. But, yeah. Is that a good time for a break?
Yeah, have an actual pause with.
What, with everyone leaving? I take that as a yes. Okay. Yeah, let's have a little break. Couple of time lapses for you. 2 in a row. You lucky people. One of them's new. So, see you in about 5-10 minutes or something. No, it doesn't.
We are back.
Yes.
Hello.
Yeah. Fun's over. Put your tea down. It's work time. Now I'm going to do a few things. I'm going to get a bit stuck into this background color, and I'm just trying to see sort of accents, but just use the collection of colors I've got. So I've got this sort of highlight on the curtain down here. I'm going to sort of take that across. And again, I'm still working quite thin here. Right, there's some pinks in there. There's another bit of blue. That'll do it. That's actually that kind of greeny colour. I'll move that across a bit just for the sake of balance. Okay. Did I have a pinky brush? I think I did. Don't know where it is now. I'm gonna get another brush out. The hell with it. I'll be properly good with my brush usage. Yeah, that works. We've got this sense of light across the fabric now. Yeah, invent a bit over here as well. Let's try and get the same sort of language going on. Have some green in it. Oh yeah, and a few in there as well. So yeah, while that's use the wrong brush for this really, but I can put some really solid bits of that dark in here now. Right, definitely here. This is the only really neutral colour I've got. Is this sort of black colour. It does a job. While I'm here, actually. Put some red in that. A little bit of raw umber. Okay. Now I can do that mark. And this one. Where else is that going to go? Here. This particular shadow. Oh. Right. What's next? Right, I've got this greeny yellow here. Before we get into sort of really, what would you call it? Fiddly stuff. What's that going to do? Use a red for that. Put it really thin. I'll just put another line for that. I'm trying to think in shapes, but just keep reloading that brush. Oh. Nah. I didn't count the sort of the creases, as it were. No, that's in. I can sort of put this edge in here. Does that do it? Come out of there, really. Yeah, not sure if that's quite doing the thing yet. Go for a yellower one here. I can put a few little dabs of this orange on here. There's a piece. Actually, that one all the way down. And it gets back to this at the top. Some of this paler green. Put some of that in. I was going to put this. This can also go as part of the reflection. And then this green can be the reflection on this side. Middle too. Have I balls this up?
Might you say that?
I feel like I'm doing the wrong language for it. You know what? This is the bit where the paint starts getting thicker. So okay, I'm into brush mixes now. There. That'll do that. Let's go across to this pink and make a paler one of that. Let's pop that in here. Okay, go back to the original one, put a bit of that in here. That's this blue. Put some of that to describe that ellipse. We also want a bit here. I need a paler version of that. You can get too caught up with a thing like an ellipse. Once those highlights go on, it'll be quite forgiving of that. Okay, well, I've got that on there. Where else can I see this? The banana's behaving pretty well. I'm actually quite all right with how they are. So I'm kind of erring towards local colour for the bottle. By which I mean painting the colour that's there. You can go even more orange in places as well. Right, got this lovely glowing orange in here. Deeper red at the bottom. Same thing up here. No, that's browner. So I'm not putting any alternative colours in here now, and I don't know where it's got away from me, but I could get more reds and yellows in here independently. I think that cap is taller. So yeah, let's go in for some of these reds. This is using the orange that's on the brush. I'm picking up some of this alizarin and a lump, which will never ever come off. And I'm going to put that in the shadow. Okay, where else is it? It's in there. It's in here. Go down here. Where else can it go? A bit into the shadow, I think. Ah. You can go in there. That's nice. So yeah, using red for the darks is a helpful little trick. Put a bit of lilac in that there just for that light. There. That's good. Right, I have this pale lilac-y colour. It's already gone on there. Oh, let's get some of this creamy yellow and put a highlight on that and on here. That tells us something about how terrible my ellipses are.
Are there any necks when it comes to ellipses?
Are there any what, sorry?
Any necks that you can...
Oh, there's all sorts of tricks, but at a certain point, you back yourself to do it by eye, and then that piece of rubbish happens. Right. Now I can solve this. It's all in here. So, yeah, it's pretty simple, really. It's basic geometry. So, you know your square root of 2 principle. And so you're really just applying the square root of 2 on a parallel diagonal. It's obvious, really. So if you put it in a box, and then you draw an X in that box, the edge of the circle would be at half the square root of 2.
Okay.
Which is 0.707. So just over 2/3 across, and it would be parallel to the other, not perpendicular line. There's a name for it. And the line that would have been perpendicular had it still been a square with a circle in it. So the same principle applies, but you just squash it down. And if okay, now it's getting away. What's that? It doesn't know. Yeah, let's have this sort of edge that doesn't know where it is. That'd be helpful, wouldn't it? Woo. Ta-da. That'll probably do it. Oh, I could fiddle with that ellipse all day. That's driving me mental just looking at it. Thicken that up there just a tiny bit. Okay, that's okay, I think. I think I can go with that. Let me get this yellow and I'm going to put it here. And there. Where else? And along the top. And then when it comes to that, oh, I'm running. I keep using the same brush for the wrong thing. Ah, green. That's it. I want a pale greeny colour. I'm going to use that again. It's not actually green, but green will work for it. So there's your highlight across the top. Just I'll carve that up with a bit of a okay. Getting close to done now, isn't it? mixed up my paint enough, but there you go. Put a few dabs of that orange in there. Just a few bits, just to shift it across to the red slightly. Just at that edge. Same here. Skip a bit there. Where else is this orange going to go? Oh yeah, there's a ton in the bottle, wasn't there? Let's go back to my yellow. Go back to this yellow. Okay, now where there's a highlight in that, I'm going to use another colour. Use this lilac again. I'm going to put a little bit of a highlight in the middle of that yellow. Where it gets darker, I'm going to put just a deeper orange. Might even go full on red, but that's going to go all the way over here. Put a few little dabs of red in it as well. Just to sort of take that around the corner. Oh. Mm-hmm.
I always find it incredible how a couple of brush strokes and it starts to make things really pop. Come back on the page.
Yeah, it's fun. I mean, it's fun for me to watch it happen as well, because from my point of view, there's absolutely no guarantee of it. I'm hoping it happens.
Hmm.
Right. Okay, put some purple in there. That's good. Dark underneath it. Go. It's starting to come out now. A bit more dark in there. Now, other colours that could have gone in that shadow. Oh, this purple. Put a bit of that in. Oh, that's cheeky. Where else can that go? Get in there. And it can get around here. What's my time?
2.
All right, that worked out pretty well.
And Anna said that it looks great, except perhaps the inside of the cup light stripes too regular, maybe.
I guess that's what I'm seeing. How's it look on the screen?
Yeah, it does. It looks very defined.
Perhaps it's spatula type.
Can't do a live stream without a spatula.
Oh, I can actually. I think it's about time I did. Let's not have spatula madness. What? No spatula madness. That's correct. Let's just sort of break up some of that a little bit. They are quite regular, I guess. I shouldn't have done that. Oh well. Yeah, they are quite regular stripes, but I guess that's the nature of it.
Well, it's being chrome on the inside, isn't it? It makes these very defined shapes, but then try and apply that to them.
It's an interesting thing though, that thing of trying to sometimes you paint what the viewer expects instead of what you're actually seeing, because what you're seeing is so weird that it doesn't make sense to anyone's eyes. Okay, here's an interesting one. I'm going to put extra red in it. I know.
Sorry, but there's put a smiley face on there as well.
All right.
All good.
No, I'm quite happy for people to sort of muck in. If you see something, I'll try it. I mean, who knows? That's how you find new and interesting things. Oh, right. Okay. Right. Spinning out. No, that's the light color. All right. I'm really losing it now. And calm and concentrate.
Josie's packed up and said, looking gorgeous.
That's very lovely. Thank you. See if I can see. One example is this label. I think the label actually curves up, and if I do that, it'll look like I painted it wrong. Unless it's somebody who works at Lang's Rum who'd go, "Oh, you didn't do our curved label properly." I tell you what, there's a really interesting thing with the Abbey, Sherborne Abbey, because it was built in 2 halves, and there's this sort of main. I'm sure it'd have a name, whatever the architect would call it, but you know, this kind of protrusion, if you like, in the middle. And it's got the clock on, you know, the clock tower and everything there, and the buttress on the left has got different levels to it than the buttress on the right. They were built separately, but there's this big central window, so it looks like the middle of the abbey. Next time, have a look.
Okay.
And you know, imagine climbing up the left one and climbing up the right one. Completely different structures.
Oh wow.
But when you go to draw it, all the paintings of it they've made them the same, because if you paint it as it is, it looks like you got it wrong. And it's really hard to let that go. Okay, I'm going to put an extra bit of light in this.
I think that what you've done on the inside of the cup actually looks a lot better.
Oh well, there you go. It's that's the trick, isn't it? Yeah. That S is there. It needs to be yellower, more orange even. So a bit more of that in it. Ah, a little lump, thanks. There's some Lang's banana rum. And I'll just do some the corner writing. That's all darker. Just to finish it off, maybe a bit of that pinstriping, whatever you'd call it. There's a bit. That's sort of reflective, isn't it? So I'll pop a bit there. Yeah, okay. Have I got that? Have I got? You know what? There is the one last bit. Well, I think I'm back to my green brush, whichever the hell that one. Let's use this one. And it's the light. No, it's still not green. It's not far off it. What else needs that? This needs a bit of it. Yeah. Okay, and a little bit more lettering. Yeah. Do a version of that green. Ah. Nice. That cup is winding me up.
Is it winding you up because it's winding you up, or because somebody else has mentioned it?
No, it's the outside of the cup. The outside of the cup is winding me up. Need to get a bit more cut to there. It needs to travel across further. That's this. That's their favourite song. They love singing. It's this or Vindaloo.
highlights and some line.
I think that's pretty much done, don't you? Okay, I'm just fiddling with it now. Stop fiddling. Yeah, don't think there's anything else to go in there. Okay. There. Oh, what colour shall I sign it in?
Based on it being sort of a yellow predominant, surely it should be a yellow, shouldn't it?
That's brilliant. I'll do that. Thanks, Graham.
Glad I could help.
It's a good job you were here.
My work is done.
You know what, though? I'm going to have to go for an orange one, simply because of those two yellow highlights.
Yeah. Yeah, see, that was going to be a bit of a problem.
Actually, it's still light outside. Right. I could have done something in the window, couldn't I?
I'll pass you your phone.
Yes. Yes, yeah, I can do the little...
Dan says, really beautiful, thank you for the demonstration, good show.
Oh, thank you, Ad, and thank you for joining us
Thank you.
again. Right, let's see if I can do a little ta-da moment. Right, first of all, let's get that in focus. Well, it's having a job, isn't it? How's that?
That's really amazing.
Well,
It's so interesting that the lack of yellow used on yellow bananas to create the image is stunning.
get that a bit more level actually, about here, that'll be better. Yes, if I go in really, really close, wow, from here, see some of these sort of peculiar, focus again, but it's definitely worth using the phone. It's definitely having a job. So a little touch of perceptual colour in that one. Nothing too crazy.
Across.
There we go. All right, so if we get right in there, if we can see some of those other colours in the bananas. Bits and pieces in the bottle.
Yeah, I really like the bulbous part of the bottle, just where the neck opens up. It's the main part of the bottle, the amount of colour that you've used in that.
And yeah, it ends up quite subtle in the end, doesn't it? Oh, you know what I didn't do? Oh, I can do this. I can do. I'll hold the camera at the same time. Oh, this is exciting, isn't it? I didn't do that super bright. Yeah. Nothing simple. Sorry. I hope no one's getting seasick. Right. Let's go to the palette, and I'm going to want some titanium white, and I'll make it slightly yellow. Tiny little bit of this lilac-y colour. Just bleach that out.
And I said, wonderful how you made colours of the bananas.
Okay. If I go back to here, you can see there's two highlights on the bottle. And they go, oh, here and here. we go. Go back to the normal camera now, Graham.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Thank you for that. And thank you for joining me. And yes, next week I'll be in the middle of Art Weeks. So the studio is going to be tidy. I don't know if you can tell, but at the moment it isn't. Yeah, so seeing up top. Yes. Do I need to scratch down?
A little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, thanks for joining me. And what do you reckon to next week then, Graham?
Well, as in what's paint or?
Yeah, any exciting things to?
We should probably tie in something along the lines of Dorset Art Weeks if we can.
Yeah, like
Maybe if you've got your portraits set up or your paintings set up in a particular fashion, maybe you should paint the paintings.
I will probably still be framing in the middle of the Art Weeks.
Mm-hmm.
It'll probably take me about 10 days to get that done. So maybe some framing stuff, or
Yeah.
maybe some art materials. Maybe a studio equipment study. That'd be good. Palette knives and paint tubes and
Yeah.
It's sort of cliche, but it's fun.
But it would suit with Dorset Arts Weeks, wouldn't it? So
Absolutely.
ties
Yeah.
in quite nicely.
So join us next week, and thanks for coming. We'll see you then.
Thank you very much.